So it's been about a week since I emptied this tank, and I've been thinking and waiting and sort of planning on how I was going to escape it. I did get my pond plant soil, sand, not sand, but like dirt and soil. I do want to try using this. And then I noticed earlier today that driftwood I have just floating in one of my tanks finally sank. So I think it's time. What the idea is to have the dirt sort of in the middle as a mound, and then I'll cap it off with sand. And then kind of I'll have to play with how the driftwood looks like in the tank, but kind of have wood and rocks. I've been thinking if I want to do the Cereu or Dragonstone, but I think if I'm going to use the sand, I would like the contrast, because if it's like, you know, beige sand plus beige wood plus beige-ish brown orange rocks, I think that'll all kind of blend in together and kind of just wash each other out. So I think we're gonna go with a darker rock. So yeah, I mean, I haven't opened this bag yet, but I'm excited to see, excited and nervous, because I know in my other dirted tank, the Miracle Grow organic potting soil, it came with a lot of things I didn't want in the tank, like wood chips and casings, I believe. But fingers crossed that this doesn't have any, but I really think there's gonna be, because I think it needs those fillers. And actually, I don't even know if you guys can see that. It doesn't look like there is. I mean, this is just a large clump right here. I'm just gonna break it up, but it almost just looks like dirt, like dirt and sand, which is excellent. So if that's how the whole bag looks, which it kind of looks like it, I'd be super excited. I mean, I see like a little wood chip. We'll just pick those out. But yeah, let's go ahead and start building it up. As you can see, the lights are off. It's getting pretty late, but I don't really have a lot of time other than pretty late to do this kind of stuff. So let's see what we got. I mean, all these pieces of wood chips, wood flakes, and all the other things, they'll float to the surface eventually, but if I can somewhat reduce doing extra cleaning, that would be awesome. No, I'm not too worried about smaller clumps, but the larger ones definitely want to break up, because eventually they'll get soft over time. Now this is the Wet Pets 10-gallon tank, so it's not going to be a lot of substrate. I do want to have enough where I can get some height. And I've been really debating on if I want to use any other type of material, like substrate wise, whether it's like pea gravel or some small lava rocks. Because in my other tanks, if I'm trying to achieve height, I will use some fillers. That way you're not using too much substrate. I think this is going to be enough. Let's just put that away for now. Let's break up these pieces here. almost looks like there's some clay. I mean, this is like a really light piece, light center. So I feel like that is clay. You know, like when you're digging through the lawn, digging through all the dirt, and then you hit clay. I forget what they call it, like Indian clay. I don't know if that's the actual name or if that's actually what it's called, but I think this is good. Let's go get our tools. Now this plastic scraper, this plastic spatula, it's one of my favorites just because it's plastic and I know it's not gonna scratch. Alright, that might be good. Alright, so I do have this pool filter sand. Now this pool filter sand is a little bit lighter than play sand, but is a little bit darker than the sand that the tank came with. So I'm going to use this sand more as a filler. So it's going to give me the height that I want in the back, and then you won't be able to see the back. Actually, I think we're just going to go all pool filter sand. So I'll save this one for another time. When you're doing your sand, just like this, you want to make sure you get all the glass. That way, you don't see any of the other substrate. And that way it just looks like it's all one substrate. Got a lot of pool filter sand. So we're going to create a higher back and have it slowly slope towards the front. And that gives it the depth. That's good. Let's play with some of the stone. Fill it with water. For this one, since there's a lot of sand, we are going to use the plastic bag method. Just have it ease into it. While that's filling up, let's set up the filter and the light. Got some of the buse. Grab some of my beautiful crypt. Trim the roots. Get these planted. This is a Monstera plant. I've been watching a lot of the Cinescaper, and he has really motivated me to try houseplants. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, I think that is it. What do you guys think? Look all right? That's how we're gonna end it. And then Parlor Palm, a Monstera. Like, I really wanted to try it. If you guys haven't checked out the Cinescaper, I would definitely check them out. It's a lot of motivation. It's a lot of inspiration behind this. And I used a couple of plants that he mentioned. So we're gonna let the water settle. Hopefully it clears up. We might do a partial water change tomorrow. Maybe add some more filter floss, and then see where the temp is at, and maybe add some fish. All right, so let's fast forward to that. All right, guys, today's day 2, so maybe day 1, I don't know. It's been 24 hours since we set up this tank. I just did an ammonia test. It's been about probably 5 minutes since this has been sitting here, and to me, that looks, I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know what to compare it to. I mean, that looks like it's starting to tint a little green. I don't know what you guys can see, but it looked yellow and then it just started turning green like a minute or two ago. I'm pretty sure that's kind of green, right? I don't know what it shows. Yeah, there you go. It looks kind of green. So I did want to test the ammonia because out of all the, I mean, every dirt that I've tried, it always seems to leach some type of ammonia. Now the driftwood and the aquatic plants, they've been in the tanks for a while, especially the plants. They've been in my most established tank for a really long time. The crypts at least. The buse, what is today? Thursday, have been in there for 4 days. So for sure the crypts and the wood has some beneficial bacteria on it. So I'm not too worried about the ammonia. That'll give the beneficial bacteria something to eat. But yeah, I mean, it looks looking a little green, like a slightly tinted green. So tomorrow we're gonna test once more, except we'll do all 3. We'll test for the ammonia, nitrates, nitrites, and kind of see where those levels are. We'll dose with prime or the Fritz to bind up the ammonia. We'll see if there's any nitrites or nitrates in there. We'll do probably about, I don't know, a 20-30% water change, and then we'll see how it is. The water temperature is probably about 70 right now. Yeah, it's probably about 70 maybe a little bit cooler, 68, probably 68 to 70. I know if you guys that have been doing this for a while, you guys know when you touch the water if it's where it should be. It's probably about 70. I know all the tanks in my fish room that don't have heaters level out at about 73, 74. So tomorrow this should be there. I think that's it. After we check it tomorrow, see where the parameters are at. Yeah, this is for sure green. And then we'll do our water change as necessary. And it's probably safe to add fish. I'm still trying to decide what's going to go in there. I think it's going to be the Medaka. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek with something. Da, da, da. So I picked this up today. This is probably about 2 gallons. Just for reference. That's a gallon jug. It's probably about, I don't know. It's got a lot of width. Probably a gallon and a half to 2 gallons. I'm obviously not going to fill it up to this line. It's going to be a little bit shorter and have some substrate. So after everything's said and done, it's probably going to have a gallon of water with the water displacement. Can you guys see that any better? Yeah, that looks like it's green. But I'm probably going to put some of my Medaka in there. So now Medaka, they're called rice fish for a reason. Like in Asia, like Japan, Korea, they're naturally found in the rice fields, so very shallow, still water. So I'm not too worried about the water volume, and they're still, juveniles, so they're not big at all. Right now, they're still in the tubs. I do have plenty of space for them available. I just don't want to put them in a large tank where, it's too deep and they won't be able to find their food properly. So I'm gonna put them in smaller ones. I do have another fake tub planter that I want to do a video for. So still trying to think when I'm gonna set this up. So a little teaser for you guys. It's coming, but tomorrow we will check. We'll check the parameters. This is how it's looking so far. I mean, the parlor palm on the left, that's just temporarily there. I just cleaned out the roots cleaned the soil off the roots, so I had to put them in water for now. I did dose some liquid ferts in here yesterday, so everything looks like it's doing pretty well. You can see the Monstera, the little nub right there. It looks like it's grown a little bit more since yesterday. And then the roots back there. So hopefully we see some more root action from that guy. And yeah, the water's definitely cleared up. Everything's still looking good. The buse is looking nice. Crypts, I mean, the leaves are kind of shredding, but that's kind of how I pulled them out. We'll see how they do over the next couple days. Water lettuce is still doing fine. It already had this little yellow leaf, so yeah, so we'll see how everything does in there. But that's 24 hours later. We'll jump to 48. All right, what's up, guys? We are right now testing all the ammonia nitrate. I had the nitrate test done, but if you can see right here, I spilled it. So we are redoing the nitrate. The ammonia nitrite look like they're fine. I did not do anything but kind of take out a little bit of water. I skimmed the surface because I was getting that little biofilm. So we're gonna give it a little bit because yesterday the ammonia took a few minutes to read. those are our test tubes right now. Let me block this. I don't know if it helps to have a white background. And these are what we're looking for. Alright, so we'll just leave those as it is. So everything's doing fine. I do see a couple snails in there. I think they traveled on my plants. I do not want them in there. I'll have to dig them out with the tweezers. But yeah, so far so good. I think I've got to raise the water level actually a little bit because I can see my palm plant kind of coming out. But the plan was to do like a 20-30% water change anyways. So I'll probably just go ahead and do that once these guys show us the results. But just looking at them already, you can kind of see that we're looking cycled. And that was instant. Only reason that happened was the driftwood and the plants already had beneficial bacteria in it. But this is pretty much exactly what you want. I mean, I think the ammonia is tinting ever so slightly. But no nitrites, and you've got maybe 5 parts per million nitrate. Between 5 and 10, maybe like 6. But that looks pretty good. So, you can tell that the tank's cycled. This is getting a little greener. I think. I don't know, it's still pretty yellow, but I think it's going to turn a little green. So in that case, I mean, we're going to do a little water change anyway. So I'm going to take out some water, refill it with some fresh water, probably a little bit warmer because I just temped it and it's temping at 72, 73, which is almost where we want it. And then probably toss in a couple fish and we'll call it a day. So let me go ahead and take out some water and swap it with some new water. All right, just like that. It is pretty good level, but you can see, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, maybe I should get this out of the way. I feel like the orange has gotten a little bit darker. It is closer to about a 10 right now. But I guess this is still yellow. I mean, I feel like I see a tint of green, but could just be seeing things. Just did about 15-20% water change. So we are looking good. Let's temp the tank. All right, so I did add a little bit warmer water, so we are at 76. So that should be just about perfect. Let's go and find some fish. All right, so that took a lot longer than I wanted to. The tank looks a mess. I've got my 3 male guppies in there. Look at this. Yep, that's my plant tank. They look like they're doing fine. So I think that's it. I think we're good. Little snails. And yeah, so we'll just leave them there. I added another squirt of fertilizer. And then, yeah, that's it. That's the new scape. Hope you guys liked the video. See you guys in the next one.